Can you guys hear me now? Testing. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yay! Guys, my headphones were literally working 10 minutes ago. No, 30 minutes ago. Technology drives me nuts. Great. I'm glad you guys can hear me now because it's been a day and I was about to throw my headphones across the room if it was not going to work. Because that was just... Hey, Varsha. Hi, everybody. Well, I said hello to everyone. Casey, I said, have you joined the KEYMARK Readathon? If you haven't, you still have 3 days to do that. So you definitely can if you want to. Zen, I mean, right? Theo, I did not forget to plug them in. They were plugged in and now they are unplugged. And I'm still going to wear them because I have to stay with the brand. But I unplugged them and you're just hearing me through my computer mic because that's what we're going to do tonight. And that's fine. So, ta-da! Behind the scenes secrets. I have done several live streams where I was wearing my headphones, but they were not plugged in because they were not working for whatever reason. My computer has been weird. Okay. Hi, Shad. Okay, am I pronouncing this name correctly? Marquilin? Is that a yes, no? Hi, Shay. How's it going? Varsha. I know, Varsha, you know what? You just get the hang out with Tori all day sticker. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Matt. Hey, guys. Oh, my gosh. You guys, it is almost midnight, and we have 22 people on this live stream. You guys rock. Look at this. Awesome. Love it. I'm also waiting on a couple of live stream guests. So... I'm just going to give them a chance. Anita, you've been on, several of you guys have been on with me since, what was that? Like not quite 7 p.m. my time. All right. So what I want to know is, first of all, this is the kickoff for the KEYMARK Readathon. It officially started 5 minutes ago, which is very exciting. And if you have no idea what that is, feel free to post in the comments if you want a link, etc. If you want to go join in the readathon, you have 3 days left to do that. My team is the Beanie Barbarians, and we're going to win. So you can definitely grab that as your preference if you want to on the sign-up form. And yeah, I want to know what everybody's going to be reading. What are you starting off the month with? And let me bring in my barbarians, my barbarian horde that's waiting in the wings here. Hey, Katie. Hey, Mads.
Hey.
Okay, I cannot hear Madison or Katie yet.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, no. Guys.
Oh, no.
No.
Madison, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, my goodness sakes.
Okay, we can hear each other.
Yeah, we're good.
Testing.
Tori, what did you do?
Testing.
She can't hear me. Why am I asking her question?
I know, I'm typing.
I can see you guys talking, but you guys can hear them. Oh, my word.
Okay, so the stream can hear us.
Okay, hold on.
The storm is messing with our audio.
You know what I'm going to do? If I leave, you guys will stay on, right?
I've never had a stream before.
I don't know.
I'll be right back.
Can the audience hear? I'm still trying to pull up YouTube on my laptop, so I can't even see the comments right now.
They can hear us, yes.
Okay, good.
So, well, hello everyone. How are you guys doing?
We'll just take over and host Tori's live stream.
Yeah, we'll just take over Tori's channel. I mean, I think we could do it, right?
I think that's what barbarians do. I think we're supposed to just like conquer, pillage, just
take what's ours.
So here we are. I don't have a cool barbarian weapon like Tori does, though.
I mean, yeah, no, me neither.
I have an imitation cat's paw dagger from A Song of Ice and Fire,
Oh,
but it's
okay,
made
that's
of
pretty cool.
so it's like extra silly.
Nope. Okay, I'm just gonna open a YouTube panel.
Tori, can you hear us now? I'm gonna take that as a no.
It might be a little delayed, but at least I'll be able to hear them, theoretically.
I wonder what's going on. It was working fine earlier with Steven Erickson. I could hear everybody. I wonder if maybe we should leave and come back in or something.
Thank you guys for entertaining the masses while I'm figuring out my technology. I appreciate you both so very much.
I feel like trying to open up on my laptop.
Because now, like, I'm just playing a
My
YouTube video and my speakers aren't working either.
Poor Tori.
Well, technical difficulties.
It totally happens. So what are you going to be reading for our spring?
I'm gonna start Sinlin. So
Okay, I've had those on my shelf for like 2 years, and I just keep kicking them down the road for one reason or another. But I know they're super beloved, so I'm excited to get to them at some point.
I was doing the same thing, and a bunch of people on Jimmy's Discord, Evie, and a couple others. I don't remember who else.
Tess,
but
can you
a
guys
bunch
still
of
hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Oh my goodness. Oh my, thank you, Jesus. Okay. We're good.
Woo!
I swear, it's almost April Fool's Day, you guys, of course.
That checks out.
Like my brother, what I was doing tonight, and I was like, oh yeah, there's this readathon going, and we're gonna like kick off the month with these midnight reading sprints and stuff. And he's like, your friends are probably playing a prank on you, and no one else would show up.
See, I'm one of those
very elaborate.
I'm one of those weird
That would
people.
be.
Like, you can count on me to be that one friend that will never play an April Fool's prank on you ever. So if you're ever confused, just I'll be in your corner.
Imagine,
Okay.
like, day of, Bo just switches all the teams. Like, April
Oh
Fools.
my
like,
gosh. Just kidding. Yeah, I think we'd all riot if that happened.
That'd probably be a lot of work on his end anyway, so I feel like
Right.
it's not a worry, but
Yeah. Less work is great.
everybody.
Senior Pineapple. Hello. Yes. Well, now that we can all hear each other, the energy is going to be so much better. I'm actually surprisingly awake at this hour of the night.
Well, I'm
how
feeling
many
great.
how many monsters have you had, Katie?
Okay, so my first couple of years of college, I was really addicted to caffeine, and I don't really drink caffeine anymore, but like 1 cup of coffee to start my day, and that's it. So
Good for you.
Yeah.
Nice. Ty is in the chat. Hey, Ty.
Hey.
Hey, Jen. Jord. Thank you. We have a team, a rival captain in the chat here.
By amongst us.
What?
I know Derry is doing competing streams too. So
She
there's
is.
Yeah.
I didn't see when I should have looked to see when she posted her live stream. I'd like to think that was my idea first, but I can't claim that.
I
for
just
sure.
saw it like not an hour ago. So I don't know.
I mean, let's just give them the benefit. I mean, they're going to need all the luck they can get, as we know. So,
Right? Yeah, of
Right.
course.
Yep, this is for real now. We've all been kind of playing smack talk in the channels, but now it's real as of 11 minutes ago. So, oh my goodness, you guys are awake this evening. There's like 170 comments here. Jen is ambitious with a feast
man.
for crows. Wow. Good morning, Britton. Thank you, Bo.
Jen, thank you for saying my hair looks nice.
It looks so good.
Like the first couple washes after the fresh dye, it's like pretty
Just bleeding
fun.
purple.
So shiny, yeah. But then it gets kind of dull and that's sad. But
The only time I've ever dyed my hair, I did a blonde rogue strip, which I may do again at some point because that was fun.
good.
Yeah, I liked that. That was fun. But red hair, like, I mean, why dye it, you know?
You already have beautiful hair. And mine is naturally just like a super dull brown. And I've been dyeing hair since I was like 11 or 12. So
Wow. I've never dyed my hair once. It's like very generic brown, but I've never dyed it. So That's Kev. We don't need to bring that up right now.
I will definitely remind me when we get to the end of the month and we win, and I will make that comment.
We have a whole, if anyone needs a barbarian task, I can hire you, okay? I got you.
All right, Deanna is starting with the chonker, Mistborn. Honestly, Mistborn's I would say that's going to be a pretty easy chonker, because is that over? I don't know, mine's on the other shelf. That's over 500 pages, isn't it?
Pretty fast paced.
Yeah, very fast paced. So that should be a perfect startup.
I think I read both the first and the third Mistborn within like 2 days. So not together, like individually. So they read so fast.
Yeah.
Yes, and we've got a last unicorn.
Madison, what are you thinking you're gonna kick it off with?
So my first readathon book is going to be Iron Gold, but I'm not going to start it because it's not midnight here yet. So I'm going to do my eyes only read for April, which is funny because it's not a readathon book. Like I have my readathon all planned out. And this one is not a readathon book, but it's going to be my eyes only book for April.
Okay.
And
oh,
yay!
I'm just like trying to suck up. This really is what I'm planning to read my eyes. So.
Can confirm. Well, I hope you like it. Thanks, Madison.
I hope so too. I'm really excited to get to it.
I'm excited for you to read it. Never gets less nerve-wracking, no matter who it is. If somebody I know is like, "I'm reading your book," I'm like, "Okay, I hope you like it."
So I can't imagine. Like I don't think I could take the criticism very well, and negative feedback. I think it would really, really get to me. So kudos, man. Like, because that's the thing is, even if you wrote what some people consider to be a perfect book, there's always going to be people who just don't like it. Like and that is understandable. Like my brain understands that. My feelings, I would be like, why don't you like me?
Yeah, there's definitely you definitely have to have a thick skin to some degree, and just recognizing that not all books are for all people, and that doesn't mean that your book sucks. It just means that it wasn't for that person. And yeah, it's I won't say it doesn't bother me, because I mean, we're humans, right? So it's always going to be like, oh, I wish that would have worked for you. But yeah, it definitely rolls off a little bit easier.
And I feel like also it goes a long way to recognize, especially if it's like one of your first books. And I've never written a book, but I've started writing scientific papers, and so that's what I'm comparing this to. That I'm in my beginning of my journey. I have a lot to learn, and I have a lot to improve. So valid criticism, valid,
Absolutely. Always be open to learn. Madison, your hair looks marvelous, from Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
Britton, honestly, either do it and push yourself past that hurdle, or fill yourself with something else creatively. Read a favorite book, watch a show that inspires you, but push through it. All right, Zin's not starting Iron Gold tonight. Kevin, good to know. Noted. We love dairy in this house, so I can't really say anything mean about dairy. Can't do it.
Who could say something mean about dairy?
Right? Dairy's amazing. All right, guys. So let's should we get right into it? Because I want to make sure. I'm planning on going for at least a couple of hours, and then falling into my bed like a dead person and getting up early tomorrow morning. So let's do this thing. I'm going to be starting off with Legend by David Gemmell, which I'm very excited about.
What you say about this?
Oh, I'm so excited. It was honestly really hard to choose from that stack what I wanted to start with. And I thought about starting with one of the chonkers, but I know myself well enough to know that I need to get a little momentum going. And then my second one will probably be one of my longer books, just so that I kind of stagger those a little bit. So
all of mine are right about the same length except for one. So
is that a long one?
It's The Spear Cuts Through Water, so it's just over 500 pages. So it's not, I don't know. It's not huge, but it's a little longer.
I don't know anything about the writing style of that one. If it's an easy 500 pages, or if it's, one that you're going to need to soak in a little bit more. We'll find out, I guess. Cool. Well, thank you guys for being crazy enough to sleep over on my channel with me.
It's incredible.
So let's do a half-hour writing sprint, and let me figure out my banners here. I'm all discombobulated. So that is sprinting to 47. Yep. I can do math sometimes. All right. We are sprinting to 47, and we will be back at the end of that.
All right.
Sweet.
All right. Wow, that went fast.
What?
I got through 30 pages of.
Man.
I have not read a mass market paperback for a minute. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so tiny.
I did 27 pages.
Nice.
Tori, this is really good.
Yay. I'm so glad.
No, and I know what you're saying, because like, in the same way you probably get nervous every time you, like, someone you know reads your book. I get nervous every time I read a book of somebody. Because I'm like, what if it's not good? And I have to be like,
it was great. Good job.
No. So I can see how in our like large group of friends and stuff, maybe the subject matter won't hit right for everybody, but I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I love the premise. I love the different types of werewolves, and like, it's really good. So,
yay!
I mean,
you know, you starting it on a live stream with me here was only a tiny amount of pressure. It was fine.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I didn't even really think about it. I was just like, well, that's my only eyes only book I have planned for April, so that's what and then I was just like, oh, that could be awkward. So
no, it's honestly, I'm pretty like I'm just thrilled that you're reading it, and I'm glad that you're liking it so far.
I was like 3 pages in. I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, I know like a lot of people in our like general group of readers, YA is hit or miss for sure. And I mean, it is YA in terms of the like age of the protagonists and all that kind of stuff. It is, I mean, it is fairly dark. So I feel like that helps.
Well, and I think what you said that sold me was because the thing is, like, I've been reading more middle grade lately, and I'm finding that I really like that every now and then. And then I'm like, why don't I read more YA? And it tends to be because there's a lot of cringy romance that I just, and so it's like, it ruins some good stories.
100%.
And when you said that it doesn't have toxic romance, I was like, oh,
that's interesting.
No, that is not the point of this book.
Yay. Okay, I'm excited.
Zin has ordered a beanie. That's awesome. I know several people on the team ordered beanies specifically for the readathon, which just
I need to get them.
You guys are great.
I know, right? I only have this kind of bland gray one.
Hey, you know what? All beanies are accepted and beloved here. It's fine. Anitha I read 12 pages and cried for the rest of the time of something that happened in the book. Well, I mean, it must be a good book then, right? Maybe not. Were you crying because it was awful, or because it was, I'm assuming, what book are you? You're reading Dragon Haven Keeper? One of the dragon books from Mom? One of them.
Oh, she's reading Dragon Haven.
Yeah.
I wonder what made her cry.
Deanna got 19. Nice. Hey, you know what? Read however works for you. There's no right way. So
I do that sometimes myself.
Nice.
I do that sometimes because I'm a very, very distractible reader, and that's why I like reading sprints so much, especially like coming on, because I'm like, well, you're on camera, like you have to read, you can't like do other stuff. But I get so distracted. So
it just like it takes me a little bit to get used to an author's prose, which I'm assuming it does for everyone.
Yep.
So, and reading aloud really helps me get over that hump. And so if I'm starting a book I've never read before, I'll read like the first couple chapters out loud, just because it just helps. So.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Actually, I've never done that, but I like that idea.
I try to sound like a narrator, like I'm auditioning to be an audiobook narrator.
It is kind of weird, but I also talk to myself all the time. Like, it's constant. So I'm used to it. Yeah.
I had bookmarks here. I don't know where they went.
I found a bookmark before the sprint started because I was like, you're going to want that.
That was very proactive of you, Katie.
What's funny is I have so many bookmarks, but I usually end up using like one of my kids' Pokemon cards or a bill. Something.
Or you grab a piece of paper and like tear off the corner.
I do that. A napkin or something. Yeah. A clean napkin, obviously.
I mean, depends on the book.
Clarify.
Yeah, I had to get used to this is my 20th century read, and which it's very good so far. I'm liking it, but it's head hopping.
90s or 80s?
80s, 84. So it's head hopping a little bit. So in the same like section. So I'm like, oh, I'm with this character, and then it'll switch over and we're getting somebody,
okay.
The other.
So
like, all right.
Interesting. Everyone says that when like so many people don't like Dune because of that, and when I read Dune, I never noticed it.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it as much as like I know some people really have a hard time with it.
Some people hate it. I
Yeah,
like it. I don't know, it's kind of fun.
I wouldn't say this is a full-on third-person omniscient. Like, we're not getting everybody in the room, but we're head hopping from like a couple main characters in the scene.
Third-person limited omniscient or something.
Something like that. I don't know. There's way too many narrative terms. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not minding it. I actually kind of like that.
Considering I mean, primarily audio, I never really struggle with that. And I think it's because like a good narrator usually changes like cadence. Like even if they're not doing voices, they still change like the delivery. And so it's just so seamless to me that when I read with my eyes or hear people talk about that, I'm like, I forget that not everyone has like someone doing it for them.
Yep.
I guess it's like super lazy, but I'm all about it. So
whatever.
Do you like have those books or that series that you can only read in audio because you started that way and now it's like, well, we can't switch it up. Yeah.
When we were planning the first KEYMARK readathon, I remember we were like fielding like what are some questions we're gonna get. Like we need to get the rules in place before we like launch. And like there was a question amongst the organizers for they're like, should we allow audiobooks? And I was like, just so you guys know, I am Audi 5000 if we're not doing audio. Yeah. Not only because it's just, I mean, I do 90% of my reading that way. Like not only because it's my thing, but also because like I'm a big proponent of audiobooks count. So I'm like, I'm out if we're shaming audio.
Audiobooks in general just help with like accessibility to different people.
Yeah,
just
and immersion. I know I have so many friends that are immersion readers that really love to like read and listen at the same time. And
that's the only way I'm ever
going to get style. My comprehension is so much better with audio. So
I have to check because I want to say, Katie, you should talk to a couple of audiobook Malazan fans about that because I feel like I've heard things about the audiobooks.
So granted
of them, so I can
talk to Madison.
Well, I was gonna say that granted, I have not listened to a lot of them. I listened to about the first 100 pages of Gardens of the Moon, and then it's not that I didn't like it. That's not why I stopped. I stopped because I got overwhelmed with other things and didn't have the brain space for it. But I liked it. Like, it's not something I would want to do just audio, I don't think. But, like, sitting there immersion reading, like, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't, yeah. Did you like the audiobooks, Madison? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so the narrator changes. I can't remember if it's 2 books in or 3 books in, but both are very good. That's just always kind of a bummer, like, when you get really used to somebody. But both are very good, so no complaints between the two. I think the first one's Ralph Lister, maybe, who's, like, awesome. But anyway, no, I think they're very good, but then again, like I am so good at this by now that like some people are like, how could you ever audiobook Malazan? And I'm like, guys,
it is Ralph Lister.
I want to tell you. But I get that because there is a lot going on in those books. And so like they do lend themselves really well to immersion reading because when there's so many like made up terms and made up names and things that are just made, I mean, it's fiction, everything made up, but it seems extra made up in Malazan. So it is nice to have something for your eyes to track. And so you can put a spelling to a name always helps me a lot with remembering. That's why I own almost every, I don't ever audiobook something that I don't also either own physically or have on Kindle because I love immersion reading when I can, but more than anything, I need to see those names. I need to see, like, because otherwise I don't want to be that person who doesn't know how to spell the things I'm saying. So it helps.
Let's see. We've got Pete. Hey, Pete. Pete dropped in.
Baby Pete.
Yes, Britton, there is a sequel in the works. It's going to be a duology. But I already have about half a manuscript that I started last year. Stacy got through her prologue. Sarah, I'm a little emotional. Chapter 1 of The Hobbit and reminiscing of when my dad used to smoke rings when smoking his pipe. The Hobbit is like the nostalgia book. I swear. Brian, 27 pages of Way of Adan. Nice. 20 pages of Jade War. 12 pages of Wistful Ascending. Love to hear it.
I really want to read that.
That's one of my my books for the readathon.
It's good. It's such a good switch up from what I had been reading prior to reading it. Like, it was just so, yeah. And there's a moment after you read it. I can't wait, because there's a moment in that book that I was just like, oh,
cool.
So good. Deanna, that's right. You were going to make your beanie, which is awesome.
Love that.
Did you decide what color you were going to make it? I'm assuming if it's already finished. Anita's finishing up Dictator. Hi, Griffin. Oh yeah. He just sounds, he's a barbarian today. He's just filling out that barbarian vibe here.
He is wild right now. My goodness.
Got the zoomies?
Official mascot of the Beanie Barbarians right there. You'll have to buy him like a little beanie.
My dog's just sleeping. She's really annoyed that we're not in bed. Like, about 7:30 p.m. every night, she starts standing at the door of her room like, hey, remember bed? Let's go in here.
Come on.
She's not happy.
Yeah, my kitten is sleeping like 2 feet away from me. He's out.
This is my fault. Because my sleep schedule has been so like sporadic, he has adapted to that. And so here we are.
I mean, at least he's cute, right?
He's adorable.
Jen
I love him
is
a little more when he's 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah. Jen is reading all 5 books in a single file of A Song of Ice and Fire.
Man.
Holy
I feel
buckets.
like insane.
I couldn't do that.
Why? I mean,
like, Jen, you can get those from
kudos.
the library for free. Don't.
Yeah, right?
Casey, 26 pages of Ember in the Ashes. Nice.
What's
Ooh, Insta Love is a no-go for me. That's a Saba Tahir, I think, is the author.
I know.
I want to say.
It was really popular 3 or 4 months ago, I think.
Yeah. How are you liking it, Casey? Insta Love is one of those tropes that I'm like an instant no. 50 pages of the 3rd book of the New Sun. Nice. Let's see. Jade, 6 a.m. in Ireland. No worries, Jade. We'll be doing some more. I don't know what time that is for you, but it's 2 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow afternoon, or today afternoon now. Ty has 36 Kindle pages of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy down.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's going to be a quick read, I bet.
Ew. I mean, whatever gets the job done, I guess.
He's unhinged.
Truly.
Kevin the Edgelord over here. Yeah, it's funny, Casey, is I actually don't mind it, but I hadn't read it for a really long time. And then when I read Shogun from January to March, it was like reacquainting myself with third person, very omniscient. And I actually didn't hate it.
So I think I've decided, because I started Shogun and I got maybe 200 pages in. And by the way, like, genuinely enjoyed every minute of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, other stuff just kept like washing in and like.
I mean, it's also massive.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. This past November, I did something called Thickvember, and I just read like 3 huge freaking books. And I think I'm going to do it again. I think I'm going to do Thickvember again. And I'm going to do The Count of Monte Cristo and Shogun and one other. 3 big ass books in one month.
That's a lot in a month.
A lot in a month.
I think page count wise, it probably wouldn't be that much different than what I usually do. But I usually do anywhere from like 8 to 10 books. So instead, I'll just do 3 fatties.
I've read 10 books this year.
But that's fine.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
And remember, I'm hooked up to my headphones about 8 hours a day, so that's like a huge handicap.
Fair.
If I was doing eyes only, it would probably be 2 a month.
If I would just be like more disciplined and not get distracted all the time, I could totally read more. Which is why this is
what's
good
so
for me.
distracting, Katie? I don't see what.
Yeah, I don't know. Who could never? I don't know.
Marcolin says, if I know a word the audio version just once, then I hear it that way in my head when I read it yourself. Yeah, I just started this morning reading Anne of Green Gables to my daughters. And like, I grew up with the 1980s Megan Follows version of the TV show, which is amazing. And I can't speak in like I have to read it in Rachel Lynn's voice. Like, I have to do the same inflections. I can't unhear it now. Ty, yeah, I honestly do not understand people that say the audiobooks are not reading. I literally do not understand.
Well, I mean, I understand that it's not reading.
Physically sight reading,
Like,
yeah, but you're reading a book.
But you're still taking in the same story.
Right.
You're still experiencing the same.
Right.
I mean, so I am like, okay, fine, that's fair. It's not reading, it's listening, but you're still absorbing a book.
Right. Let's see. Kevin says, if you do immersion for Malazan, though, do not go by their pronunciations because they are wrong. I mean, I said, what did I call it for a long time? Because it's Malazan, but I used to say Malazan. I
say Malazan, and I'm like, I understand that I'm wrong. I understand why I'm wrong. I will always.
But she's a rebel.
I'm from the South. I'm used to being wrong. Like, come on. Try me.
Well, and like I always pronounced, so Felison, who's a character in book 2, I always said Felizan for a really long time.
I would say it too, probably.
And it's Felison, apparently, which I still working on it. Still working on it. No, so the sequel to Phased I started last year and took a break. I kind of set it to the side for a little bit because sometimes I need to set them aside and percolate a little bit longer, and I feel much better about now that I'm at a point where I'm ready to go back and write that when I get that far. But the Bloodstones is my focus right now for sure. Thanks, Elaine. How's it going?
I get asked, I mean, all the time. Probably multiple times a week. People will ask me, do you think you're ever going to write a fantasy series? And I'm like, that's such a weird question to ask because I'm like,
if you read it, you must want to write a book.
Like, well, I don't have, you think I got ideas? You think I got stories up in here? Like that's a very specific talent. And I'm like,
you might surprise yourself.
I don't have a story to tell, but I've never had like something in me that I'm like, oh, I wish I could tell a story to people. I'm not saying I'm not good at other things or like follow my dreams, but I'm like, what? Just because I like to read doesn't mean it's like a hidden desire. So I don't know. I'm like, no, absolutely not. And people ask Mike that all the time too. Do you think you'll ever write? And he's like, no. Like, what about me?
Like, what about just? It is also okay to just absolutely love reading the books also. Like that is a valid occupation.
You know, it's like I also have never written a screenplay or I have written a song actually, but
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Posted on your channel?
I mean, I was
Can you sing it for us, please? Right now, come on.
I was in 11. I was 11 and my best friends were 12 and we were in a band together.
Yes.
It was really good.
I love it.
Really good. I've been in two singing vocal groups with homeschool Christian children. So I'm right now. It was good.
I love that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
11 years old in a band. That is awesome.
I mean, really think about it. Let me reiterate. Homeschool Christian kid.
Oh yeah.
Being in a band with like your
I get it.
I get it.
Siblings or your best friend is the dream. So the girl group I was in, we had a pretty successful national anthem singing. We went to all the schools, all the basketball games. We were high demand. We were a hot ticket item.
Nice.
But just for the national anthem, pretty much.
That's awesome.
That's my music career right there.
You can put that on your resume. I mean,
Right? Hey, Caesar.
Right there.
Agreed, Zen. Absolutely agreed. But
Okay.
in
I
a
really
lot of
don't want
YA
you
books.
to be intimidated by how classy I am, but I am gonna have some bag wine real quick.
Oh gosh. How you can't drink on my channel. There's a rule against that somewhere. I'm kidding.
I'm like,
Madison's like,
channel before.
I know, right?
This is
Like,
my first time.
Yeah, I am out of wine. Otherwise, I would completely join you.
Well, my box is almost empty. So when the box is almost empty, you take the bag out.
Well, yeah. How else are you going to get the wine out?
There you go.
All right. Britton wants to know, what do you like to read, Britton?
Yeah, that's
That
a
is
question.
a massive question.
Okie dude. Where are you from? Oklahoma. Some Okie dude.
Is that an Oklahoma reference, or is that like?
Well, I don't know what else it would be referencing.
No, you're right, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm an Okie, so I know what I mean, right? Like, what else would that mean? Like, if it was about a tree, it would be like OAKIE.
That's a
Yep, those
are registered.
Those are definitely the rules, Caesar, for sure.
I feel like
I've never drunk on my channel. There are legitimately people that were trying to start a conspiracy theory that I am drinking vodka in my
moonshine
water, which is not true.
Hey,
moonshine.
That is
I'm
water.
in Tennessee, all right. Don't put the moonshine past us.
That's just a normal. Okay. Yes, from Oklahoma. Fantasy, sci-fi, crime fiction, supernatural horror. I mean, if you want like a super easy fantasy rec, Never Die by Rob J. Hayes, because I gotta say it. Yeah, Katie was waiting for it. But outside of that, if you want something a little bit heavier, Touch of Light by Thiago Abdallah is a great place to start. If you want something way lighter than that, you could go for Seasons of Albion or Blood of Crows, both of which I have recently read and loved. Katie, did you finish it?
No, I'm only about 200 pages in. But
only 200 pages in. Isn't it beautiful?
I love this book, and I like the writing in it too. And
it's so heartwarming. Like it's so wholesome despite the murder mystery and heistiness going on. I know.
Whoa, hold up.
Okay, so let's do another sprint. Because I'm determined to get past 50 pages tonight. It's gonna happen.
You got it.
And yeah, I tried to keep up with the comments. I know I can't get everybody, so I'm very sorry, guys. I try. I really try.
I may or may not stick around for the long haul. I've got to leave really early in the morning, but
same.
I'm going to read for a little longer.
All right, that sounds good. Whatever works for you. All right, so let me do another bit of math here. Hold on. This is asking a lot of me to do math after midnight.
You got it. You can do it.
Got it. I can do this. All right. Alrighty, guys, that's another sprint gone. How'd it go, Katie?
But pretty good. I really tripped out there for a second because I didn't realize that this book started over the chapters, the beginning of each part, and I was like, how am I already on chapter 4, but there's 16 chapters in this whole book? I was so confused. I was like, what is going on? I was like, am I in the Tower of Babel right now? Oh my god.
What's happening? Because you're in the first Sunland book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty good. I'm on page 62 now.
Nice.
It's moving pretty fast. Yeah, it's lots of like action right away at the beginning, so that's helping a lot. And intriguing like suggestions of a magic system at this point, you know. I'm not committing to anything yet, but
yeah, I don't think, at least from what I've heard, Gimmel's not known for magic systems, right? So
no, if anything, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty soft,
which like can be fun. So
oh yeah, I actually, to me, like the magic systems are, if it's not going to make or break a series for me, to be honest. Like I enjoy a good magic system, but I'm not obsessed with has to be a good magic system or else I'm out. Like as long as the characters and the story are good, I don't really care.
Nice. Have you read Sinlin?
I have not. It's on my TBR with everything else.
Right.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to be in a particular headspace for that one.
Interesting.
Is my guess. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
It seems like something that I'm gonna really like. So that's why I was like, there was a bunch of people on Jimmy's Discord who were like, we're all reading Sinlin at the beginning of April, and I was like, it's on my shelf. I've been wanting to read it, like, and I just
it fills the prompts.
Yeah, it did. It was debut, so I kind of got dragged into it, and I feel like I'm really gonna like it. So I'm stoked. I'm hoping for good character development. We'll see.
Yeah, I know a little bit about the first book. And I know
nothing.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it, and only from things that I've heard from Alan. So
fair, yeah. He loves it.
Hey, Derry, how'd your sprints go? Let's see.
Derry, what are you starting off the month with?
That's a good question. Madison got 2 more chapters in. I mean, they're not super long chapters, but that's impressive. I enjoy shorter-ish, like it depends on the mood, but a
shorter chapter for me, I can pick up in the middle of my day and read, you know, and that makes a big difference. Whereas I can't really justify a 20 to 30 page chapter taking a break from school because like that's going to be at least 30 minutes. Like that's going to be 45 minutes. I can't justify that. But 10 to 20 minutes, I can justify.
Exactly. Arcolin is chapter 2, page 18, and liking it. That's awesome. Yeah, characters. I'm such a character nerd. Like, I can forgive a plot as long as the characters are good.
So I thought I was, because I love like what I've read of Realm of the Elderling so far. But then I read, I think you've heard me talk about this book once before. I read this indie book, and it's a Spitbo finalist called The Umbral Storm. And I loved it. Like, it was like it felt like it was written for me. Like, I loved that book. The characters were very like Rand, like very like white bread, you know. But like that didn't bother me. Like, I was okay with it. It was fine.
White bread characters. I'm gonna use that. That's awesome.
So I don't know. I don't know if I am or not. I don't know. I think I just like to read at this point. I don't know.
I mean, I find like sometimes I appreciate a variety where, you know, there are some books where the characters maybe aren't quite as deep and things aren't quite as crazy dark, but I still have a good time with the story. So, but I still have to like be emotionally invested in the characters, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I finish the book and I'm like, okay, well, I read that.
I feel like I was emotionally invested in the plot of that book, and the world was so cool. Like that was
what's going to happen.
Magic system, like progression type fantasies that I've read, and I was invested in the characters, just maybe not the main character, you know.
That's
there
fair.
Were a couple other characters that I was like, I really like you, but
yep. It's very rare in stories that the main character is the one that is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Red Rising is a great example of that. I don't mind Darrow. Like, he's a turd half the time, but Severo is like my favorite fantasy character of all time. So, and he's not the like main.
Who was your favorite in Never Die?
My favorite character arc is Jihao.
Yeah,
Emerald Wind. His character arc at the end, I just so good.
That was pretty good.
So good. I am a big fan of Itami Cho.
Yeah, she was probably my favorite. She's awesome.
And I love that she was like the anchor of the Motley Crew through the story. That was very cool because I feel like, just like it was a twist. I felt like on the usual Motley Crew.
It definitely was, and especially like finding out what you find out later on, you're like, man, that was.
There's a moment in Spirits of Vengeance that just like a little Easter egg in there that just I was so excited and I was just like, I caught that.
I'm so curious because I've noticed that the title of Spirits of Vengeance was name dropped like at least 5 times in Never Die. So that's very interesting to me.
There are some things. Spirits of Vengeance was the book that told me it was going to be one of my favorite series because it was just such a great like culmination of everything I read in Never Die and Pawn's Gambit. And then I did read the Century Blade short story in between as well. But the Easter eggs are just so good.
I'm excited. Because I'll probably read Spirits of Vengeance in May because I might as well. Like I have.
Did you read? Because you're reading Pawns this month. Mm-hmm. Yep. Honestly, like I know everybody says that about every series, but reading them like in quick succession. Spirits of Vengeance was the book that I finished the last readathon with, and I read it in like less than 3 days because I could not put it down, and also I needed to finish it for the readathon. Too. But
it's how long is it? Is it over 500 pages? I don't know. I just have the physical copy. It's just chunky. Yeah. Also, that book cover is like I love it. It's beautiful.
Felix Ortiz is a beast.
It's beautiful.
546.
Okay, all right. So like
544.
Okay, but so like it's not super long, but it's a chunker.
I mean, it's a 500 plus page, so that's why I picked it because I was like, I know I'm gonna love this book because I like the first two. Right. I need a 500 page chunker for the last 3 days of the readathon. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that to yourselves. Like pick your like short 200 page book to kind of coast to the end with. That's much better. Derry's at 11% of the Way of Adan. That's a really good hour of reading.
Are you enjoying it? Do you like the Way of Adan so far, Derry?
Agreed. I cannot wait. I'm not an audiobook person at all, and I'm so ready for that audiobook. I'm so excited. Zin, short chapters are the best. Like to finish a chapter before getting up. Yep, same. 12 pages into We Are the Dead. Nice. How are you liking it? That's one that I would really like to get to. I was really excited about it, and then Mike was like, "Oh my gosh, Mike Shackle, We Are the Dead." Blah blah. And I was like, "Okay, now I really want to read it."
I don't think I've heard of that.
We Are the Dead by Mike Shackle. It's a trilogy. Grimdark.
I'm looking at definitely never heard of it, but interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Mike has a couple videos like talking about it on his channel. Ty, 30% into Hitchhikers. Nice.
Look at you go, Ty. You're gonna finish that this weekend.
I know. Ty was talking about how Zin's gonna be done in like 15 days. I'm like, Ty's gonna be done early too, I think. I'm going to be that person where I'm either like coming in at the finish line with my like 5th book, or I will have it done early and then surprise myself.
I can tell you right now, I would be so surprised if I finished early. Like it would be a miracle. Like, I think I can finish.
I've never say never.
But yeah, it's going to be every single day.
Derry says, I never even noticed chapter lengths before book 2, but I always just stop when it's time to stop. Sentence. Yeah. I have a hard time with continuity sometimes for brain processing. And so it helps me to stop on a natural like chapter end or, one of those little like breaks where,
If a book's chapters are too long, I will do that. Like if the chapters are like 50 pages, we're stopping in the middle of it. But
I know there's a book at the end of Malazan, I think, that has like a 70+ page chapter.
I'm definitely in the middle of a chapter in Gardens of the Moon right now. Not that I'm reading it. I haven't read it since January. I don't know why I even tried. It was not a good idea at all. But here we are.
I mean, Steve just said tonight when we were talking on the interview earlier that Gardens is kind of like the primer for the series. And that's a really good way of describing it, because it really is.
I think if, the rest of my life was not falling apart right now, I'd be all right. But like, I'm in very much like,
you're only graduating.
Yeah, I'm in the transition period. Everything's changing. I don't know where I'm living in 2 months. Like, there's just a lot going on. So it's just not the time for now.
Find a more settled place to get back to Gardens
next
of the Moon.
August. Next August.
Stop even in the middle of a sentence. Oh gosh,
Interesting,
I could not do that.
I could never, yeah.
The short chapters are definitely helpful for progress. Hey, Fairy Librarian, what's up?
Rogue, I can't. I'm sorry. I do not have the brain capacity right now, physically.
That's fair. I mean, you really do have to, Malazan is a commitment. And I'm very, like, anybody who pretends it's not is kidding.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll get to it one day.
Let's see. Can't read books where I don't care about I can read books where I don't care about the characters as long as the plot is entertaining. Yeah, I can't do if there's like no characters, then I'm just kind of like, okay, I mean, this is cool, but
see, for me, I feel like in one sense, if the world and the plot were cool enough, it can almost be like its own character. If I know that sounds
true.
Weird,
no, that's true. That makes sense.
So.
I mean, I can't wait for you because you're reading Wistful this month, right?
No, that's not me.
No, you're not. That's Madison.
That's Madison. Yeah.
Okay.
I do want to read that though.
Sentient Space Stations.
That's cool. That's
very cool. It's very like this. The space station was actually like my favorite character of the book.
Have you read? I'm gonna have to figure out what this book is. It's about gnomes. Hold on, I just bought it on Amazon.
Is that the one with the cute like greenish cover?
The Garden Gnome. Yes.
Yeah.
I have it over there. I just bought it. Have you heard of it? Or
I've seen it around, but I haven't read it.
Apparently, it's something about like it's like the crossover of science and magic, and I'm so excited about it. Like I really want to read it. I can't fit it in right now, but I really want to read it. It sounds really good. So
when you start your BookTube channel,
one day
you'll have to do like a books with great like science in the fantasy books with great science, because I would just be like, there's science. I don't know.
Do like a fantasy books with terrible science and fantasy books with great science. I cannot watch movies at this point in my life. Like I just can't. I can't watch any sort of like some action movies are good about it, but any sort of movie that deals with anything sciencey, I can't. Mm-hmm. Like I'll just start laughing in the middle of the film. Like
my mom is a behavioral leadership coach. And so I cannot watch movies ever without like analyzing every character's personality. I'm like, well, you're a this and you're a that. And you probably have this tendencies. And like,
you probably do that to your friends too.
Kind of. I mean, it helps me know how to approach people or communicate with them better. But yeah, I mean, it's something I can't really turn off.
That's great. Yeah.
Have to stop at the end of the day. Yeah. Hey, Chadia. Good morning. It is actually morning for us too. Look at that.
The Fairy Librarian. You're reading The Garden Gnome. Very exciting. You'll have to. Awesome. I'd love to hear what you think. It sounds great. So.
Here we go. Derry says, "Do enjoy The Way of Edan. It's got a vibe that really works for me." Nice.
Right. It seems like it's got an old fantasy vibe, and I'm here for that.
Classic, but
yeah.
Yeah, because
I plan on reading it later. Yeah, so
yeah, I'm guessing that's going to be like the most read book of this readathon by far.
I think so. It just aligns so perfectly. Like,
yep,
everyone's taking advantage of it.
Zen, don't worry if I'm going to sight read Iron Gold or maybe come at the Finish Line audio. Nice. Yeah, why? Oh, oof.
Excuse me? I can't read that in one sitting, especially of a Malazan book. That's too much.
Right. ASOS.
What
am I reading that has that acronym? I don't have anything with that
The
acronym.
Storm of Swords.
No, I'm not doing the Song of Ice and Fire read along because I gracefully bowed out of all of the read alongs this year because I was like, these are massive books and I just don't know if I want to do that to myself right now. But I'm enjoying everyone's commentary. I will probably not be smashing out my last points on the total on the last day. I'm guessing I will finish early, depending. We'll see what the rest, because I also have to write this month at some point.
You're busy.
Eh.
And you have
It's
children.
fine.
That's a whole nother.
It's a circus.
I can only imagine.
Somehow we keep going. Yes, we are going to do another sprint. I'm just making sure that I didn't like miss anything really important.
No one gets
Not
left
that
out.
you guys are all very important and your comments are all important. And I always feel that's why I spend so long in between the sprints. I'm like, I got to answer everyone's comment. No, my Down to the Wire book was Spirits of Vengeance by Rob Hayes for the January readathon. Because I realized I was missing my 500-page bonus point like last minute. Whoops. So I did the smart thing and I didn't pick something new to read that was over 500 pages. And
Yeah, no kidding.
I was like, I'm going to go with something I know I'm going to enjoy. All right. See you later, Shay. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right. Let's do one more sprint and then I am going to crash like a zombie.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's go.
Easy math this time.
Math. Right? Hey.
I don't think I've ever had friends read with until 2:30 in the morning. That's great.
Right?
I love it.
I'm actually surprised at how awake I am right now. I'm usually out. All right, here we go. All right. Last sprint down, guys. How'd it go,
We
Katie?
did it.
We did it. 3 sprints. That was my goal. So feeling good about it. I'm at page 91.
Nice. I got to page 35.
Nice. Yeah, but that's a much, I think, more intense book than the one I'm reading.
There's a lot of words on these pages. I don't know why.
I hate it. I hate it when books do that.
There's a lot of words on these pages. But that's okay.
Yeah.
We're doing it. It's doing great.
We're doing it. Yep. And so everybody in the chat, if you do want to jump back on later today at 2 p.m. Central Time, I will be doing another few hours of sprints. My plan currently is to do sprints for sure every Saturday. And then sporadically throughout the week, I will be jumping on. We do have a voice chat in our readathon, that's just in our readathon channels on Discord, that's just Beanie Barbarians accessible. So we might do some basic ones during the day, because that way, if I'm watching kids and stuff, I don't have to set up my computer and be on video the whole time. So let's see. Nice.
Todd, 50%. Oh my gosh, dude.
That's insane and awesome. Go Ty. 27 of 6 Crimson Cranes. How is that so far? I really want to read that one. That one looks really good. That cover is just
I also own that, so you know.
Beautiful. More than 3 chapters of
A Feast for Crows.
Thank you. Yep, that's probably what it is. Since she was doing A Song of Ice and Fire.
That's like a fun little game, guessing all the book acronyms.
Right. Well, and then so many authors now are going by acronyms too, which Alan complains about regularly.
What's there's the one that always gets me, it's KJ Parker, and then there's an RJ Barker.
Yes.
And then I just saw somebody the other day that had another one like
that's
that.
Baker.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there's that R.A. Baker.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Deanna will be there. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try. We're leaving in 5 hours to take my kids to a church event, and so I will be bringing this in the car and see. Because my dream would be to finish this by the end of the weekend, so that I can start one of my chonkers next week.
How long is that?
It's actually not as bad as it's a mass market too. So,
okay.
This is 344 pages.
Oh, that's pretty short.
So yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. So should be good.
This guy's 380. So
that's not bad either. I feel like anything under 400 pages feels pretty manageable for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Saturday sprints. Hear my accent. You know, I doubt it. I've heard a lot of accents. Accents are cool. Nice. Another 28 pages. It's awesome. See you later, Anitha. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Rogue. R. Scott Baker. I knew there was a R something.
That one, but there's another one that has initials. It's not R. Scott Baker. It's somebody else. And I think it's Parker. Something Parker.
I think you're right. Yeah, there's another Parker besides Tom Holt.
Right. Yeah, we just start calling.
That's not even, and Robin Hobb isn't her name either.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever, fine. It's this why I wanted to start with this one, because it's gonna be it's a fast read.
Let's not say nothing. Hold up, that can take up my whole week. Some weeks. Let's not call that nothing.
In fairness, though, I am a speed reader, so
if you can't tell, I'm not.
No, but you probably retain the books you read much better than I do.
Yeah,
because my husband's the same way. He is very slow compared to me. And he remembers stuff so much better, years later. And he's like, "Do you remember when that one thing happened in Malazan?" I'm like, "Nope."
What? I don't know how to read fast. I don't think I only have one speed. We got first gear and that's it.
Hey, but it'll get you there.
That's true.
Let's see. He is fun. The narration is quite voicey, first person, but even then I'm enjoying it. Nice. Yeah, so I think it's a YA, so it should be, that one should be a pretty easy, quick read for you. Why are you doing this to yourself, Anitha?
That's your prerogative. Like, you chose that.
I have to be very careful with readathons because I know I will burn out if it's not a book that I'm like really excited about.
I really wanted to read Assassin's Quest this month, but I was like, nope, not doing it. Can't.
Yep.
Can't.
Nice. Good job, Britton.
Nice.
All right. Rogue has one more message
in June. I told you, in June. All right. I can't right now. I can't. June.
That's fair. Yeah, you've got a lot going on right now. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I ate way too many cheese and crackers right before bed. But yeah, we will be back on this coming afternoon, and I'm going to go sleep now, and I hope you guys will all do the same. And we will be back in whatever many hours that is. Can you tell it? I'm starting to go downhill. We'll see you guys later.
In the stream.